Welcome to the news on Enyimba TV. We are reaching you from the commercial city of Aba. First, the headlines. Abia State workers to commence indefinite strike from Monday 15th day of July. Pro-Wike Assembly issues Governor Fubara 7-day ultimatum to resubmit 2024 budget. Federal government announces suspension of duties, tariffs and taxes on essential food items imported through land and sea borders. Thanks for joining us on the news at this time. My name is Esther Chema. Now the news in details. Abia State Chapter of the Nigerian Labour Congress will commence an indefinite strike starting from Monday the 15th day of July 2024. This was contained in a letter sent to Enyimba TV News, which was signed by the NLC Chairman, Abia State Chapter, Comrade Okoro Ogbonnaya, and State Secretary, Comrade Enogwe Ihechi. The statement cited the non-compliance of Abia State government on the payment of 30,000 naira minimum wage and the 35,000 naira palliative wage award as approved by the federal government. Civil society organizations, including Africans in Diaspora for Good Legislation and Coalition of Civil Society Organization in Abia State, has berated the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Emmanuel Emerowa, for what they termed a display of arrogance and complete disregard for the rule of law. The coalition reminded Emerowa that he has no right or whatever not to recognize and re-inaugurate Mr. Aaron Uzodike as the duly elected member representing Aba North State constituency, having been declared the winner by the Court of Appeal and given a certificate of return by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). They are demanding that the Speaker of Abia State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Emmanuel Emerowa, should within 7 working days inaugurate Mr. Aaron Uzodike as the member representing Aba North State constituency in compliance with the ruling of the Court of Appeal. Federal government has announced the suspension of duties, tariffs and taxes on some essential food items imported through land and sea borders. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, made it known during a press briefing at the National Press Center, Abuja. Kyari disclosed that the listed food items, which include maize, wheat, husked brown rice and cowpeas, will enjoy a 150-day duty-free import window. The minister stated that the government has been working tirelessly to address the food inflation crisis, which has seen prices skyrocket to unprecedented level. Kyari therefore assured Nigerians that the government is committed to achieving food security and ensuring that no citizen goes to bed hungry. Nigerian Petroleum Company Limited NNPCL is blaming resurfacing of fuel queues in some parts of the country on the disruption of ship-to-ship transfer of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, between mother vessels and daughter vessels, resulting from recent thunderstorms. This was made known by the Executive Vice President downstream of NNPCL, Dakbo Shegu, in Abuja. He said that adverse weather condition has also affected berthing at jetties, truckload outs, and transportation of products to filling stations, disrupting station supply logistics. He also said that due to inflammability of petroleum products and in compliance with the Nigerian Meteorological Agency regulations, it was impossible to load petrol during rainstorms and lightning. Senate President Godswill Akpabio says state governors no longer have any excuse to complain about payment of new minimum wage if signed into law, going by improvements in revenues that accrue to them monthly. The Senate President, who was represented by the Chairman of the Senate Committee on Labor, Employment and Productivity, Senator Dikete Plang, at a retreat in Abuja, promised speedy passage of the bill by the National Assembly when presented by the executive. Meanwhile, the Trade Union Congress Chairman, Festus Osifo, while speaking at the retreat, asked the National Assembly to work with the Tripartite Committee on a new minimum wage to ensure they keep pace with inflation and cost of living. Chairman of the National Population Commission, NNPC, Issa Kwara, says the commission is prepared to conduct the National Population and Housing Census, but is awaiting President Bola Tinubu's approval for a date. The NNPC chairman stated this at a media conference in Abuja, organized to herald the commemoration of the World Population Day 2024, marked on July 11 every year. Mr. Kwara expressed optimism that the National Population Census will hold between this year and April next year. United Nations recommends that countries conduct census every 10 years. Progressive Governors Forum says the current economic crisis is not peculiar to the country. This is as it maintains that the All Progressives Congress government has done well for Nigerians. Chairman and Governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodinma, stated this in Abuja after meeting with the national chairman of the party, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, ahead of the Edo State governorship election. The meeting also had in attendance the governor of Cross River, Basi Otu, Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, and their Ekiti State counterpart Abiodun Oyebanji, ahead of the forthcoming Edo and Ondo State off-season governorship elections scheduled for September and November. The Imo State Governor expressed the hope that the APC would reclaim Edo and will still retain Ondo State. Shaibu Yusuf, a resident of the Federal Capital Territory, caused a stir when he mounted a broadcast mast belonging to Aso Radio and Television. Yusuf said he climbed the 120-feet mast to protest the prevailing economic hardship in the country. He also demanded that the petrol subsidy regime ended by President Bola Tinubu on May 29, 2023 be returned. He descended from the mast after he was persuaded by Florence Wenejeme, Acting General Manager of the FCT Emergency Management Department, who said his message will be delivered to the FCTA, the President, and the federal government. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) says it won't relent in the fight against corruption in the country. The chairman of the commission made a promise while addressing representatives of the National Association of Nigerian Students who were at the agency's headquarters, Abuja, on a solidarity visit. He dismissed claims about recent operations of the EFCC in Akure and Lagos. The EFCC boss explained that out of the 127 suspects arrested in Akure, 113 were indicted and 80 already charged to court. One of the student leaders, NAN's Senate President, Senator Akinteye Babatunde, stated that NANS came out to show support for the EFCC in its crusade against any form of corruption. Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Soho, has directed that the request by a former Kogi State Governor, Yahaya Bello, that the money laundering suit instituted against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission be transferred to Kogi be heard in an open court. This was stated in a letter addressed to Bello's counsel, Abdul Wahab Muhammad and Musa Yakubu, wherein the Chief Judge drew the attention to a pending appeal in the case. The pending appeal is between Yahaya Doza Bello and Federal Republic of Nigeria, wherein the defendant had sought a consequential order remitting the case to the Chief Judge for reassignment. The letter, signed by Special Assistant to the CJ, Joshua Ibrahim Ali, said as a result of this, it would be improper to take any step that would be tantamount to preempting the outcome of the appeal. Rivers State House of Assembly, led by Martin Amewule, has issued 7-day ultimatum to Governor Siminalaye Fubara to represent the 2024 budget to the House. The sitting by the Amewule-led Assembly, after a long time, comes on the heels of last week's Court of Appeal judgment nullifying the expulsion of Amewule and 24 others from the Rivers State House of Assembly by the Rivers State High Court. The Martin Amewule-led Rivers State House of Assembly also accused Governor Fubara of breaching the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The lawmakers told the governor that he also breached Section 7, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution and the Rivers State Local Government Amendment Law 2023 for swearing in certain unelected individuals to manage the affairs of the 23 local government areas in the state. in flagrant disobedience to the judgment delivered by Justice Omotosho. In a parallel sitting, Rivers State House of Assembly led by Victor Okojumbo has screened and confirmed Emmanuel Frank Fubara as a commissioner in Rivers State. The confirmation during plenary followed a request from Governor Siminalaya Fubara. The House also considered for the second time the bills for the creation of a state emergency management agency and the reform of the transport sector. It is the second time since the appeal court's decision on the House of Assembly crisis in Rivers State. The Victor Okojumbo-led lawmakers are convened for plenary. In a related development, a Rivers State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt, the state capital, issued an ex parte order of interim injunction barring the Chief Judge of the state and the Clerk of the State House of Assembly from dealing with the Martins Amewule-led State House of Assembly. The ex parte order for interim injunction, dated July 8, was issued by the High Court of Rivers State, presided over by Justice D. Jumbo Stevens. The suit was filed by the Attorney General of Rivers State and the State Governor, Sir Siminalaya Fubara. The court also ordered all parties to maintain the status quo as of July 5, 2024, until the motion for interlocutory injunction is heard and determined. Meanwhile, Rivers State Governor Siminalaya Fubara is expressing surprise at the Nigerian police force silence over the recent attempted detonation of an explosive device in Port Harcourt, the state capital. Fubara wondered why, after many weeks, the police have yet to make a statement or take action. The governor maintained that if the act was done by supporters linked to him, terrorism charges would have been slammed on them. Fubara stated his worries shortly after swearing in Emmanuel Frank Fubara as the new commissioner for finance. You're watching Enyimba TV News. After the short break, the news continues with foreign, business and sports updates. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Glad to know you're still there, and thanks for being there. Now the news continues. Senegalese President and West Africa's ECOWAS facilitator Bassirou Diomaye Faye is calling for dialogue and peaceful reconciliation with three countries that recently split from the bloc. The military leaders of Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso broke away from the Economic Community of West African States earlier this year and formed a federation of their own on Saturday. The three countries' decision to leave was fueled in part by their accusation that France was manipulating ECOWAS and not providing enough support for anti-jihadist efforts. ECOWAS has warned the region faced disintegration, though its efforts to bring the seceding countries closer to so far have failed. Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger have called their withdrawals irreversible. ECOWAS announced that it would draft a prospective emergency plan to address any contingency in the tense relations with the breakaway countries. And now from the business sector, Vice President of Oil and Gas at Dangote Industry Limited, Davakuma Edwin, is giving assurance that Dangote Refinery will commence the production of petroleum motor spirit, also known as petrol, this month. Edwin disclosed this when International Financial Analytics Corporation S&P Global officials visited the Dangote Refinery at Ibeju-Lekki, Lagos, as part of its sovereign credit ratings assessment of Nigeria. He reiterated that, as earlier promised, the company will start producing petrol this month, that is July. Edwin also noted that products from $20 billion facility are of high quality and meet international standards, saying that it can meet 100% of Nigeria's demand for petrol, diesel, kerosene and jet fuel, with surpluses available for exports. And now sports. Nigerian women's national football team, the Super Falcons, are preparing for their upcoming Olympics appearance in Paris, and a friendly match against reigning champions Canada has been penciled down for the team. The match will take place on Wednesday, 17 July in Seville, Spain. The Falcons aiming to make a strong impression at the Olympics. After a 16-year absence, we used the friendly match as a test against the best. Canada secured the gold medal in Tokyo 2020, defeating Sweden on penalties after a 1-1 draw. Currently, in a training camp in Seville, the Falcons are perfecting strategies for the Olympic Games. And with that sports story, we wrap up this edition of the news on Enyimba TV at this time. But before we go, here is a recap of the top stories. Abia State workers to commence indefinite strike from Monday, 15th day of July. Pro-Wike Assembly issues Governor Fubara 7-day ultimatum to resubmit 2024 budget. Federal government announces suspension of duties, tariffs and taxes on essential food items imported through land and sea borders. That's our package of the news for now. Please join us for more updates in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Click on the notification bell to receive alerts when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching. On behalf of the production crew, my name is Esther Chima. Appreciating you for watching.